Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 17, which is also the season finale. Listen, you guys, I look a mess today. I feel a mess today. I'm trying to hide behind my glasses and sit back a little bit. We just got home. We were gone in, I'm going to try to start calling it by its name. We were gone in Mahogany and Big Black Ben. We just call him Big Black, BB for short. At least I do, child. Mister, I don't even know if I told Mister the name. But anyway, we just got home, and when I tell you the takedown to close everything back up and get back, you know, to civilization is a lot. And when I tell you, I was sweating like a fucking slave, child. I'm talking about out there in the middle of the damn cotton patches. I was just like, how fucking hot is it? It's so hot. And it isn't even that hot today, but it was hot, child, anyway. So you guys will have to excuse me because I started disrobing and taking stuff off, my jewelry and stuff, and I realized that I hadn't done this video yet. So I'm going to do this video, and you guys know also it's the 30th, and I'm mad because I wanted this video to be up on the 30th, but it is not going to happen. So it will not be up until Tuesday. I mean, you guys will see it when it's up. Okay, it's the finale. How did you guys feel about it? It was a strange episode, but we'll talk about it at the end. All right. So with no more further ado, the review, let's get to it, shall we? I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so the show opens with Portia and her sister going over to who I thought was Shamia's house, but I think, was it Phaedra's house? Again, you guys, I have to excuse me. I was looking at it on my phone. All that time, I thought it was a Shamia until I saw Phaedra, and then I was like, oh, that's Phaedra. Oh, that's right. Portia's mad at Shamia, so why would she be going to Shamia's house? Okay, so yeah, they were over at Phaedra's house. Portia is still grieving her cousin. Portia said that it happened so quickly, like she found out that she was ill or in distress, and then within a couple of hours she had already passed. So the family is taking it hard. You know, they're all trying to deal with the death of their loved one. What was odd about this scene was the fact that Portia is talking about grieving her cousin, and Phaedra in the scenes, you know, in the confessional, she's like making jokes about it. She's not really making jokes about Londi, but she's kind of like making jokes about it. It was just weird to me. You know, she said she's the chairman of the usher board, you know, that goes to heaven. And I was just like, okay. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Okay. But I was just like, I mean, are we laughing at what exactly is happening here? Maybe that's how some people like to get through grief. You know, they kind of crack a few jokes, but I can tell you what, if I was a grieving person and I'm sitting down with you at the funeral home, I don't want you cracking no jokes. This is not the time. So, but they weren't at the funeral home. They were at Phaedra's house, okay? Phaedra asked Portia, has she heard from any of the girls, you know? And she said, yes, a few of the girls did reach out to her. And, you know, she was pretty thankful for that. And so, you know, they're talking. And I don't know, it was just an odd scene to me. I just felt like I wasn't sure if we were supposed to be feeling sad for Londi's death, or were they still going to like have some moments of levity, and maybe they were just trying to lighten the mood and you know, but it was, I don't know, it was odd. I'm just going to move on from there. Now we see Angela. Angela goes to see their therapist, a woman by the name of Wendy. She says that Wendy has been their therapist since 2017. Apparently 2017 was when finally Angela and Charles decided to lock in with each other and really do this as a team. You know, before that, she said in the interview with Carlos, you know, that he was still trying to learn to be in a relationship. He was still, you know, kind of out there. They did break up for a minute, you know, but when she got back together with him, I'm assuming that's right around this 2017 time when everybody was just like, okay, we fixing to really do this, okay? Angela is telling Wendy how she is financially strapped because of the house, you know, the situation with the houses. They basically are in foreclosure. She's about to lose them. She said that Charles had been helping her keep them afloat. She apparently bought these houses. They were at least a year old. She had been having them, and some longer than that, you know. So she said that Charles had been paying for these houses. But, you know, don't nobody want to just keep on sinking their money into some money pit. If nobody is trying to purchase these homes, you just paying the overhead costs of holding on to this holding cost and all that. Like, get rid of the houses or let them go. Couldn't get rid of them, so we got to let them go. She feels bad about the fact that it hasn't worked. You know, she feels like, you know, maybe Charles might feel like she didn't make some good business decisions or whatever, so she's feeling bad about it. You know, and the woman, I did like this scene because this was the first time that it actually felt like like Angela actually did know this woman, that they actually had a relationship with each other, a rapport with each other. It didn't feel like they just went and got Dr. Ken and brought his ass up in here and made him act like he was an advisor to these girls. You know, this is a real person that Angela and Charles have been seeing. So the woman is, she knows Angela. So she's telling, you know, Angela's telling her how she feels that they were targeted. And she doesn't understand why. And she also feels bad because Charles has to go through this. She does trust him. She doesn't want him to think that she don't, you know, but all this shit coming on right now, this is some shit that they did not need. I'm sure that Charles and Angela were prepared for some sort of something scandalous could have tried to come out. You know, that's a conversation, a real conversation that you need to have with your spouse if you're going on a show like this. Okay, even if it's not true, you still have to be prepared for people coming for you. And in Angela and Charles' situation, I kind of feel like that's what's happening here, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute. In the meantime, Angela's feeling like she needs to protect what she has. She needs to protect her relationship with her husband. She needs to protect herself. Like, you know, any self-respecting woman wouldn't be letting some man just come up and say that her husband is cheating on her, you know. So the Wendy was like, okay, so what's the message that you want to have when you start confronting people about this? And the message is, leave me the fuck alone. Okay. And Wendy was like, okay, well, we gonna go with that. I like Wendy. Next, you guys, Shamia. So they finally got Shamia's husband on camera. Okay, so look at Issa. But Shamia's having a singing event, okay? But this is not just a little small showcase, honey. I said Shamia then went out there and put on a full fucking concert. I'm talking about with outfit changes and everything. I mean, it's clear she was able to afford to do so. And this was not no thrown together nothing. I mean, you know, she had it in a small venue. It wasn't like no big auditorium or anything like that. It was a small venue, and it probably was mostly her friends and family. But still, I was just like, okay, Shamia, for some shit that was just really for your friends and family, you really did put some money into that. She's invited all the girls, so we see the ladies start to show up. You know, Phaedra's there. She notices that Britt and Kelly were also there, but there's some friction between the two of them. She calls them the fake frickin' frack. Okay, Drew said that she's there to check the mic, make sure that you know, Shamia is able. Drew considers herself the resident singer on the show. I was just like, everybody on the fucking show sang. I mean, Candy sang, Shamia sang, Drew sang, our favorite from, y'all know who I'm talking about, Ronnie DeVoe's wife sang, and like, people have sang on the show, but maybe she just meant this season. Even though you're not really the resident singer. I mean, Portia does sing. Say that with a straight face. You know, but anyway, Drew was quite shady in that scene. I was just like, okay, Drew. Drew said she done found her legs. Too bad she probably ain't gonna be back next season, but Drew said she going out with a bang. And Shamia went off, of course, when her child was mentioned. So then they on this whole thing, you know, and Britt was just like, you, instead of you going to see your daughter in Miami, you was over there popping shots with Kelly. And then that's when Shamia was like, yeah, and you was over there popping pills with your husband. Okay, you whore. They love to call people whores because they know that that really is a triggering word for people, especially those who might have a past of, you know, a little bit of... So yeah, Shamia calls her lady of the night, and Britt says that Shamia can't keep her name out of her mouth. I'm tired of the same fights over and over, so I'm glad that this is the last that we'll have to see of it. Now we see Kelly. Kelly is at home with her girls, and she's saying how it's not easy being a single mom. It's not for the weak. But she says that, you know, she's gonna get through it because, I mean, what else can she do? She has 4 girls relying on her. As far as her Sandy Springs location of her restaurant, it still isn't open because she is still not divorced, because all that stuff happened last week, we know, and you know, the husband is even in jail now. So yeah, still Sandy Springs is on hold. But she said she worked 8 years, 8 hard years, 8 long years to build this business, and she ain't letting nobody take it from her. So if she gotta just wait to make sure everything is in order, then that's what she's going to do. Which is hot. Jumping over to Drew, you guys, we see that Drew is at work at home, and Ralph calls her up. Hey, listen, can I come upstairs for a minute? Sure, Ralph, you can come on up. Okay, they were cordial with each other. I said, oh, he has to call. Even the producers asked her. She said, yes, he has to call to come upstairs. All right. So he comes on up out of the basement, and they sit down and talk. And Ralph says, you know, I just was sitting there thinking, like, how did we get to this place? How did we get here? I said, well, Ralph, I might, let me just, if I may, just give a couple of suggestions. Maybe you got to this place because you married a woman that you did not know, okay? And then you guys immediately had kids after that. And then you probably realized that this was a mistake and you were unhappy. So then you started to leave the marriage. Some people say financially, some people say sexually, some people say mentally. I think Ralph realized that he had made a mistake and he was deep in it. And that probably is how you guys got there. But that's just my opinion. Drew says she don't know how they got there, but you know what? It don't make no sense that they be fighting like they do. You know, they have kids together. He doesn't like the fact that he has to ask for permission to see his kids. Like, he can't even see them Monday through Friday. And she was like, well, I would never keep the kids away from you. Those are your kids as well. You know, we just need to be able to communicate to each other, you know, what we want. And he agreed that they need to do that. And, you know, they kind of shook hands there and said, you know what, we are going to make sure that we keep it like this. Okay, be cordial with each other. And we family, we all we got. And that's that. And I was just like, okay, well, good. Love wins, I guess. Then, you guys, we see Phaedra. Phaedra is out with her boyfriend. His name is Chi-Chi. Apparently, they've been together for about 4 months. He's a young whippersnapper, is what she said. She said that she ain't even looking for marriage. You know, she looking for a man that's got big balls. Big ballsy man, okay? That Phaedra, everything is a man. Even though she says she don't want to get married again, like, everything that she talks about is like having a man, being with a man. That's just like, oh, you so hot in the puss. Girl. Anyway, she out with Chi-Chi, and she tell him about this Charles Oakley Foundation event that's coming up, and she wants him to come to the event with her, and he says that he will come. Then they start kissing, and I'm telling you, it gave me the ick. I was like, ugh. Like, the whole time I was like, and you know, it was getting deeper and tongue and shit. I was just like, oh, just all of that y'all could have kept. Very cringy. Jumping over to Britt. It's unfortunate. I still think that it's unfortunate that Britt didn't get to have no storyline, because I really think that there was probably something that could have played out with her family, but the shit with Kenya just derailed all of that. But we kind of get the whole storyline in one episode, in one scene, child. So Britt tells us that when her and her husband got married, they got married during COVID. So the families were never able to be together. So her mother don't really know his family and vice versa. And then you guys know after the father died, like, everybody kind of fell apart, and her sisters don't really get along and all of this. But I think that the shit that happened with Britt kind of brought her, at least her and her immediate family, back closer together. So her sisters started coming around, and her mom moved with them or something like that, right? And so she's trying to get used to having her mother there, but you know, looks like she's committed to trying to make this thing work with her mother. Now, the husband's family comes over as well, and they all fixing to sit down. We all fixing to get to know each other and have a good time. And so they were all sitting at the table, and they were eating, and they looked like they was having a good time, and they were talking, and it was kind of like you guys, we have to stick together. You know, we can't keep fighting like this. Dad gone. We got to do better. You know, all that. So Britt said that they were healing past traumas, and that she lets the group know that they are going to renew their vows. So they are going to have a ceremony, something that we will never see. I know you're sad about that. But anyway, you guys, moving on lastly to Charles and Angela's event. So this is the Charles Oakley Foundation, founded back in 2017. Like I told you, they feed underserved communities and feed hungry children. They have everybody getting dressed up in their finest black and white, black and gold, and they're gonna come on out to the party. Angela tells us, while the ladies are arriving, she tells us about Marcus. Angela has been doing her research on Marcus, and she now knows who is the person that told her who sent him, right? Okay. So this is the way, in my mind, I feel like this is probably how this happened. So before Charles and Angela left to go to this foundation party, Angela probably said, okay, Charles, now I had to tell you that this man came to the event, and thank goodness you didn't hear him, but he said that you had cheated on me and blah, 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 blah. So what I am going to do is, I know who the person is, okay? And I am going to let the ladies know who sent this man, okay? And he probably was like, okay. But Angela left out one very important thing. The fact that Marcus was going to be at this party, okay? I don't think she told Charles that. Because if she had told Charles that, then I think Charles would have had a different reaction. But I'll get to that in a second. So anyway, you know, Angela's talking about how she ain't never did nothing to Phaedra. She don't understand why Phaedra's coming for her. And then Phaedra shows up there with her boyfriend, Chi-Chi. You know, Cynthia's like, oh, look at you. Phaedra got a young man too. Portia shows up. She says whatever with Shamia. And basically, we gonna be friends fine. If we not gonna be friends fine. That's basically what Portia said. So Britt just kind of says like, oh, Shamia's mad at me, you know, for and then Portia was like, why? Because you told me what happened about them text messages? I guess Britt's whole thing was like, if Cynthia hadn't said nothing, then, you know, Shamia wouldn't have even known nothing. Cynthia was like, listen, honey, I done been here long enough. I ain't keeping no secrets, because keeping secrets on this show will get you in trouble in the long run. So Cynthia was just like, oh, I just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page. I wasn't mad at Cynthia. Angela and Charles, they both get up on the mic, you know, and they're talking about the work that they've done in the neighborhoods with the foundation. You know, they have different people that are important to the foundation come up there. They're talking. I'm sure they're doing presentations and showing people stuff. Of course, we trying to raise money, and this is actual real event. So, you know, they of course didn't show all that, but we kind of got the idea. Anyway, while they having people come up there to talk and everything, you know, they're honoring these different people. They decide to honor Portia. And I just sat there and smiled to myself, and I was just like, okay, Angela, this is a chess move right here. And I am really impressed here, because Angela knows good and damn well Portia said that shit about her husband. Ain't no way. In a real world, I would not have been honoring Portia. Yes, I can try to get along with Portia and everything, but no, I'm not honoring her at my foundation. But what I think Angela did is, Angela wasn't quite sure how the water was going to go for Portia, right? So Portia still has a legion of fans. Even though Portia, there's a lot of people that don't like Portia, I think that there are still a lot of people that like Portia, okay? And Angela cannot really afford to be on Portia's bad side, because she still didn't really know how she kind of had an idea that the people was gonna like her, but she still didn't really know for a fact. So I think that this was her way of making sure that she's like friends with everybody. Like, look, let bygones be bygones. I done gave her this fucking award at my damn foundation. She said that she should go fuck my husband. Yes, I'm not honoring somebody that says some shit like that. So yes, absolutely a chess move. This is a strategic move for Angela to get the fans on her side even more, because Portia even still said that shit about Charles. Yeah, it was genius. It was a genius move, Angela. And more people are going to like you because it's very, very smart. Anyway, Portia got up there. She talked about, you know, what she does with the Hosea Feed the Homeless, and how Londi also worked in the foundation, was very important. You know, she kind of got broken up a little bit while she was up there. But, you know, after she finishes talking, you know, and they go sit down, and then, you know, we all do the Negro spiritual that we always got to see, we shall overcome. And then, you know, everybody is crying, and Portia's overcome with emotion, so you know she has to get up and she has to leave, and then of course all the ladies have to. I was just like, you guys make such a scene. Let that girl walk out. Why all of y'all got to walk out with it? You know the cameraman had to walk out and all that. Just a fucking scene, child. But anyway, Portia goes out because she's upset. Here come all the other ladies. They go out there with her, okay? Because it's a sisterhood. One good thing about them is that when they need each other, they all come together. Anyway, so the whole event is over, and you know the ladies are still there, of course, and Angela comes over there and she's talking to the group of ladies. She thanks them all for coming, and of course they're all complimentary, telling her that she did amazing, that this was an amazing event, you know, thanks for inviting them, all of this. Okay, then Angela lets them know that she found out who Marcus was and how he got sent to this event. You know, she was like, Kelly, I thought it was very strange that, you know, this man was able to walk up and approach me at your event. So Kelly was like, wait a minute, I hope she ain't blaming me. Okay. No, I didn't even blame Kelly. It was Kelly's event, but it was clear that that man was let through. So what Angela is doing is she's giving us content, okay? Instead of just flat out telling the bitch, you the one that said it, okay? She trying to build up to a moment. And then she even asked Britt about it, and Britt was just like, wait a minute, we've been through some shit, but at least we've been upfront with each other. I mean, I know we had some problems in the past, but we've been moving in a good direction, okay? So Britt is all like, I hope she ain't thinking it's me either. But then that's when Angela was just like, but you know what? I got the guy here. And they were like, the man is here? And she was like, yep, he's here. I'm gonna go get him. And so Portia was just like, what?
Why would you bring the guy to explain to the group how your husband was cheating on you? It makes no sense.
And that statement right there is exactly the reason why I would not have honored Portia. Because, bitch, what? She's not bringing this man to explain see, you being shady. See what happened when you try to be nice to these girls? You can't be nice, child. But anyway, so while Angela goes to get Marcus, okay, Charles is off somewhere, you know, thanking his guests for coming and all that, but he's not in the scene. So Angela goes to get the guy, and so she's coming back to the group to show the girls who the guy is, and Charles sees him. And now you guys know that Angela and Charles had already sat down with this person and found out who it is. So that's why I feel like Angela did not tell Charles that he was going to be there. She was like, I told you I was going to tell him, but you left out that one part. So when Charles saw him, he was, oh, no, you can't be here. Oh, no, nigga, you cannot be here. And he was loud. He didn't give a damn about them cameras. He didn't give a damn about nothing. Not even Angela. Angela was like, I need you to trust me. Trust me. And he was just like, you gotta go. Because you disrespected me as a man. You cannot be here, honey. Charles was not playing. And they was like, oh, now they know why they called him the enforcer when he was in the NBA. Okay, because he was not. But I know that Angela was like, oh my God, you were messing up my whole scene. Like, just please let me do this. And Charles was just like, you did not tell me about that part. But Charles finally was like, I think Charles probably was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna back out. But he better be fucking lucky. Because Charles was gonna fuck him up. Okay. So he finally backs off. He lets Angela like do her thing. Okay, so now we back with the guy. So Angela says that she wants to clear their name, right? So she sits down with the girls and the guy. So he gets up there and he's all telling them, like, you know, how he was hired by somebody to come down there and tell Angela that, you know. And everybody is sitting there looking like, who is it? Including Phaedra. And the man say Phaedra. And then he goes on and put 20 on 10. He was like, and Phaedra is known as the godfather around Atlanta. You know, what Phaedra says goes. And yada, yada, yada. And Phaedra was just like, what? I did what? I hired who? To do what? Like, I don't even know who you are. He was, oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay. And Angela is 100% believing this guy, right? And so the ladies are all just like, you are kidding me. Was it supposed to be Phaedra? You know, Shamia's just like, honey, I got my popcorn. I'm just watching this whole show, you know, and they're all just like, what? And you guys, she tells Phaedra, like, you want a man, you want the ring, you coming in between my marriage, you trying to be in between me, blah, 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 blah. Like, Angela is standing on business, 10 toes down. And Phaedra is like really perplexed, like, excuse me, girl, I no, I did not do that. But Angela is 100% believing that Phaedra did. So then Angela tells us in the confessional that Phaedra actually called her afterwards and was just like, you know what? I was thinking about it and I actually do know who that is. Okay? Because Angela told us in the Carlos King interview that the guy grew up in Athens down there where Nene and Phaedra grew up. So that's what, so Phaedra must have called her and been like, I do know who that is. Somebody named Junebug or something had been told Marcus that Phaedra's child, I don't know. I'm going to tell you, I really honestly don't believe that Phaedra is involved in this. I just don't. As we all know that Phaedra wanted to be on this show like nobody's business. This is all she wanted, was to be back on this show. I cannot see Phaedra coming for Angela. For what? Why would she? It was a different situation with Candy. She probably felt threatened. Candy was a favorite and all this and all that. And shit got out of hand. But I just do not see Phaedra coming back and doing something this stupid. I really honestly believe that somebody has made Angela believe that it was Phaedra. But I don't think that is Phaedra. I just don't think that is Phaedra. I can see that Angela is willing to die on that hill right now. But I really think that somebody is fucking with them, because I just cannot see. I mean, Phaedra would have to be monumentally stupid to go through years of work of trying to get back around to this show just to fuck it up over. And what would she gain from coming after Angela? That, like Cynthia said, she hasn't even been there long enough to really even have any kind of feeling about Angela and Charles. When she talked about Charles, yeah, she said things, but I just don't believe it. I don't. I just kept on thinking about it, like, why would she? I really think that Angela believes it, though. I really believe that Angela believes it. And that's why she is telling everybody that Phaedra's the person. But I really think that that person could know Phaedra. They all could have grown up in the same city and everything. But I think that somebody is trying to sabotage Phaedra. I really, really do. Because I just can't think that Phaedra will be this stupid. I just really, really cannot. You guys have to let me know if you agree or if you think that's something else. But I just can't. I just can't see it happening like that. Of course, Phaedra now, she's feeling attacked. So then she comes after Angela and tells Angela, well, you haven't told these girls that you in foreclosure. Well, what that got to do with the fucking price of tea in China? Okay? It was just like, girl, what? Angela was like, girl, that ain't no secret. I done told everybody on this damn show that I'm losing them fucking houses. But why would she need to make an announcement of that anyway? Girl, we ain't talking about that. We talking about how you sent this man to break this marriage up. Cynthia was just like, I'm gonna need more information, and I do too. I'm not going to say that Phaedra did that until I get more information. And I'm gonna need a lot more information. And somebody is lying, and I have a feeling it's that Marcus guy. Phaedra is steadily saying that she has nothing to do with it. Then Shamia and Britt start arguing, and Britt say she ain't arguing with no low lives, so she leaving. So her and her husband's leaving. And then Drew is like, we're done, right? I can go. Like, she's leaving. Angela tells Phaedra, thank you for trying to ruin my marriage. Phaedra's just shaking her head. I actually was feeling kind of bad for Phaedra. I mean, Phaedra's a big girl. She can handle this. Phaedra has been through way tougher fires. Way bigger fires. Okay? This is small. But I think that it's some other shit at play here. It's somebody else is trying to get Phaedra in trouble. You guys have to let me know what you think about that. Anyway, let's talk about the 5 months later. So 5 months later, they are now, it's now Christmas time, and the cameras are in Portia's marital home. Okay, she's finally able to record there. Remember when we found out that she was able to record there? So she finally was able to record there. Her mom comes over, and all I'm thinking in my mind is Simon says they were targeted, that he was targeted, and I believe that Simon was targeted as well. I just really do. When I look at all of that, I mean, Portia was doing fine, but she obviously saw some way bigger opportunities than Simon, and she came after his ass. The child, look at her in that beautiful house and all that going on, and that damn Simon done been detained and deported back to Nigeria, child. Yes, honey. That Portia sure played that out well, didn't she? She said that that she was emotionally different in this divorce. She's grown up, so she didn't make the same mistakes that she made with Cordell. Okay, she planned that shit out this time. Honey, Cordell surprised her while she was in the other bedroom and filed for divorce. Remember? She found out on TV while he was in the other room. All right? This time, Simon found out the same way. I said, boy, that karma's gonna be a bitch, though. So she's telling us that, you know, they go back and the divorce is going to be finalized, and she's hoping that the prenup will, you know, be intact, and that also means that he'll leave with what he came with and she'll leave with what she came with, and then, you know, they'll just make a clean break. That's not what happened, though, okay, because he got to pay for that house, $40,000 a month. Portia came up. No ifs, ands, and buts about it, and she looks really good while she did it, okay? That heifer is, boy, I know these men better stay clear, though. Talk about the Black Widow. Anyway, after that, well, not after that. The final things that they always do with each character or each personality, they actually did that earlier, but I'm going to tell you guys what it was now. So, they say that Kelly's divorce was finalized in September of last year, okay, and that her restaurant is going to be opening soon. We see British trying to open up, you know, bare and naked, that damn company that she has. I said, why didn't they put that she's also suing us for $20 million fucking dollars? I wanted to see that down there. They didn't want to shade themselves, I see. Drew's album came out, but no, she's still not divorced, and her and Ralph are still in a really bad place. So that shit that they did was just for the camera, which I kind of had an idea anyway. Shamia said that Shiloh, you know, is getting better every day, but of course she is a child with chronic needs, so she's going to always be something that they'll have to, you know, they'll have to deal with her health issues. But she did find a new surrogate. That person looks like it's going to be a strong surrogate, so hopefully she's going to have a son for her husband soon. Every time I hear, I've been trying not to speak on this all season, but let me just add it right here. Whenever I hear women say that they're having a baby for somebody else, it bothers me. I'm sure I've said this before, but I cannot hear that without it getting on my nerves when people say they're having a baby for somebody, or that he wants a son, so I'm going to give him his son, instead of saying we would like to have a boy. Something about that difference in the way that you say things, it's just, I don't like hearing that. It's so antiquated and so just, you're having a baby for him, or did you want the baby too? You know, I mean, I'm not no ultra feminist or nothing, but just things like that just bothers me. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Phaedra's booked and busy, you know, and she's still with Chi-Chi. I said, honey, Chi-Chi got his papers after that episode ended yesterday. Angela did lose her 3 homes, but she's now selling fans. Fangela is the name of the brand. And, of course, Portia's last words was about Simon. He was detained in February of 2025, and he left the divorce on ice, I-C-E. Okay, bump. And that's where the episode ended. Hey, I was fine with it, you guys. I was fine with the season. I actually had a good time enjoying the season. Nothing got on my nerves or anything, so it was a success, you guys. I still need to watch Real Housewives of Potomac just so I can be prepared for when the new season starts and all. But hey, you know, it was okay. It was okay. We're gonna see how this reunion, I have a feeling the reunion's gonna be good. I don't know why we gotta have 3 fucking episodes, but you know, we're gonna end it on 20, because you know I like to have it end on an even number. It's just something about me. So it's gonna be 20 episodes, so we just got 3 more to go and we'll be done, you guys. Tell me what you thought about the episode. All right, you guys, let me go in here because I'm about to, I got to wash my hair and do all this and try to be presentable for work tomorrow. So I'm going to get on off of here, okay? We do this. Nope. Make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm Roxanne. The channel is itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.